Hello and welcome to our Maths Parent Workshop for Year 3. The aim of the session is to explain what the national expectations are for your child by the end of Year 3, to give you ideas and ways that you can support your children at home, to understand the 4 operations and how they're taught in Year 3, and to understand how you can help your child with their maths homework at home. We'll all agree that quite often we'll have that conversation with our children, myself included, whereby we'll say that the methods that are taught at school are not always the same as the way that they're taught at home, the way that we were taught when we were at school. And I'm hoping that by the end of this session, you'll be able to see exactly how we teach each of the 4 operations. By that, I mean addition, subtraction, multiplication and division at school. So when we go to addition and subtraction, we learn to recognise the place value of each digit in a 3-digit number. So in 324, for example, there are 3 hundreds, 2 tens and 4 units. We know and use number bonds to 100 and 1000. So to know that 60 and 40 is going to equal to 100. To know that 550 and 450 is going to equal to 1000. By that we call number bonds. We look at estimating for calculation. So if you've got 13 add 20, we can round that and say that that's going to be close to 10 add 20, so the answer's got to be around about 30. And then use the inverse operation, so the opposite, to check the answers to a calculation. And then to solve 2-step addition and subtraction problems. So by 2, we mean that there's 2 sets of calculations that the children need to do to be able to work out the calculation. So this is our addition calculation policy. So these are the methods that we use to teach addition. I'm going to draw your eyes over to the calculations in the middle. We use the formal method, so the children will be taught how to carry forward. And they always do the carryover at the bottom. Please, please, please try and encourage your children to do that. Sometimes we've got children, they come in and they're carrying over at the top, but sometimes that gets a little bit messy. So carrying over at the bottom is something that we'd really reiterate. And that's the method that we use when we're teaching addition. So I've got a question here for us to have a go with. Ken buys 3 large boxes and 2 small boxes of chocolates. Each large box has got 48 chocolates. Each small box has got 24 chocolates. How many chocolates did Ken buy all together? So for the purpose of this question and showing you the addition, I'm going to do it with the formal method of addition, but we know that we can use multiplication for this because it's an example of repeated addition. So we would have 3 lots of 48, so 48, add 48, add 48. We talk to the children about how we know that 8, add 8 is 16, add another 8 is 24. So we've got our 4 in the ones column. Just show you at the top here. So this is the tens column and this is the ones column, and we're going to carry over our 2 at the bottom. So 4 add 4 is 8, add another 4 is 12, add the 2 is 14. So we've got 144. We've then got 2 small boxes of chocolate, so we've got 24, add 24. There's no need to carry over in this case. We've got 4 add 4 is 8, 2 add 2 is 4, and then we've got one more calculation. So this is a 2-step calculation, and making sure that the children follow through the whole calculation. 144, add 48. So 4 add 8 is 12. We're going to carry over the 10. 4 add 4 is 8, add the 1 is 9, and then we cross out the 1. And then we've got our 1 here. So we've had 192 chocolates all together. When we're looking at using the estimation to check this, we can talk to the children about how 48 chocolates is around about 50 chocolates. So we've got 3 lots of 50, so we know that the answer was going to be around about 150. Indeed, 144 is around about 150. 24 is very close to 25. We know that 2 lots of 25 are 50, so 50 is very close to our 48 over here. And again, we'd rounded this, so we'd said that this was 150. We'd said that this was very close to 50. We know 150 and 50 is very close to 200. And for checking purposes, our answer is very close to our estimated answer. Another example here, so using numbers in a sequence and increasing our number by 14 each time. So again, you're looking at the difference, so there's some subtraction in here as well. We'll go over to the calculation policy for subtraction in a moment, but we're going to look at what the difference is between 96 and 82 first of all. So we know 96, take away 82, again using the formal method again. 6, take away 2 is 4. 9, take away 8 is 1, which shows us that there's a difference of 14 each time. We can then go on to calculate what would go in this box here. So 96, add 14. Again, 6 add 4, starting off with the ones column. 6 add 4, we know is 10, so we've got our 0 in our ones, carry over the 10. 9 add 1 is 10, add the 1 again is going to give us 11, so we've now got a hundreds column. Cancel out the number that you've carried over, so the answer is 110. So when we're going with subtraction, again, we use the formal method, exchanging, starting from the ones and moving towards the hundreds, like I just shared with you. So if you need to cancel out, however, though, this time round, we can look at some examples. So a pack of paper has got 150 sheets. 4 children each take 7 sheets. So we can talk about how we know from our multiplication it's imperative that the children become more confident with the multiplications. We know that's 28 sheets altogether. How many sheets of paper are left in a packet? So our calculation being 150 subtract 28. So we're subtracting with zeros this time around. So 0 take away 8, we talk to the children about how that's not possible. We use lots of visual aids, lots of concrete resources to show them that you can't have 0, 1s, take away 8. So you're going to go next door to the neighbour next door and you are going to exchange. So that 4 is going to become a 5 is going to become a 4, and we're going to carry over a 10 into our ones column. So 10 take away 8 is 2. 4 take away 2 is 2, and then we've got our 1, so we've got 122 sheets left in the packet. Mina and Ben play a game. Mina scores 70 points, Ben scores 42 points. How many more does Mina score than Ben? A lot of time is spent looking at the vocabulary around each of the 4 operations. So addition is all together. Subtraction, you look at the words differences, how many more. Multiplication, again, repeated addition. Division, we'll look at the vocabulary of sharing amongst. So in this case, the more indicates that it's subtraction. So we're going to do 70 subtract by 42. Again, we're going to need to exchange. So from our tens column, we're going to need to borrow So we're going to turn the 0 into a 10. 10 take away 2 is 8. 6 take away 4 is 2. So 28 points more. Multiplication, we really look at the link between multiplication and addition. We've already seen that with several of the questions that we've looked at today already. The method that the children use, however, at the moment is the partitioning method, where they partition. In the example here, the 35 times by 2, they'll partition it into 30 times by 2, which is 60, 5 times by 2, which is 10, and then adding the 2 together. So you're partitioning it and then you're recombining it. Some of the examples, multiplications are really essential for the children to become more comfortable with. And the more confident they are with these, the more confidence they'll come into their maths lessons with. TT Rockstars is a fantastic app and web-based game for the children to be able to play with and engage with. These sorts of calculations are really, really, really fun for them to be able to do, and they do indeed enjoy that. So a simple grid with missing numbers on there. So 4 times by 8, the children would fill that in, and so forth. So 8 times by 4 we know is 32. 4 times by 3 we know is 12, and then this one over here we can look at it in 2 ways. 3 times by something equals 21, or 8 times by something equals 56. So looking at the patterns in the multiplication as we go on there. So in this case here, there are 5 ice creams in a box. Alex buys 5 boxes of ice creams. How many ice creams does she buy all together? So there's that word all together, the repeated addition. So we know that that's going to be a calculation of 7 times by 5. Show this to the children. Put this out when you're working together with them at home. Show them what that calculation looks like on a quick piece of paper or a whiteboard so that they can create those links. And we know that that will be 35. Division. So when we're looking at division, we go into understanding the idea of division as sharing and grouping. So those are the key words that we look at when we are showing the children methods for division. So we will predominantly use visual aids and resources for them to see how they are shared amongst a whole group. How many 3s are going to make a 16? How many are left over? Use pictures to share that with the children, but then linking it in with the multiplication at the same time as well. So in this example here, some children share 12 strawberries. Each child gets 3 strawberries. How many children are there? So you can literally show them by physically drawing. So that's for one child. That's a second child. That's a third child, and that's a fourth child. So physically moving products around, and that can be done very much at home. However, reinstate that as a sum, it would look like this. 12 divided by 3 equals 4, and showing them the link there is imperative. In this example here, circle the 2 divisions which have an answer of 5 and a remainder of 2. So 17 divided by 5, you can literally have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 sticks have been drawn out. We're going to split those into groups of 5. So we've got one group of 5. Another group of 5, another group of 5, and then there are 2 left over. So we talk about the 2 being called a remainder, and so we know that this might definitely be one of the calculations, and we would do the same method with the other 3 calculations as well. I hope that was helpful for you. 3 websites which are really useful, and I really do encourage you to use those with your children. The TT Rockstars Enrich has got an array of puzzles, activities and challenges for children of all ages across primary and secondary indeed to engage with, and the Maths is Fun website has got some brilliant explanations that you might find useful also. Again, as always, if there's any other questions, please do not hesitate to come and ask.